Yeah, let's keep going with the booking engine. I mean, is it time? Is it okay to be, your offerings, your upsells and your ancillary revenue? What are you seeing there?
So we have had clients reach out to us to ensure they're doing all of the things that they could be doing with us. And everything we're talking about here are the suggestions we're making. Anything that speeds up your path to booking and removes any unnecessary screen or step in the booking process is our top goal, essentially. But then also, if there are, in our world, we call them add-ons, but if there are those items that a guest could add to their stay to make it more of an experience, offer the right ones at this time. What those are might look different for a different client in different areas, but now is a time to get more creative with that. But those are the things our client success managers are receiving in from clients. And again, we are having more clients during this time adopt new features and then also question and go on to more distribution channels, which maybe they had been holding off previously. So it's really two-sided here. We do have those clients that, for again very good reasons, are needing to close their doors, but on the flip side of that, we have many clients that are not only business as usual, they're more needing to maximize the way they're selling. um, and we're servicing both of those as they come in, but we really are seeing it that black and white and that difference on the spectrum of a full closure versus get me out there in front of more people.
Mm. I think also, I mean, when you're thinking about the offers that you're putting there, being sensitive to the current situation is a smart thing to do. So one of the things that we've seen hoteliers doing in some markets reasonably successfully as well is, obviously we talked earlier about promoting your food and beverage offering. Well, at the moment, maybe people don't want to sit in a restaurant with lots of other people, and in some cases, governments are actively prohibiting that from taking place. But if you do have a room service offering, now is quite a good time, for example, to say, hey, we're including breakfast room service within the price, or we're including lunch and dinner, whatever it may be that you decide to offer. But thinking about how you can be sensitive to the current situation and offering people alternatives. So maybe that you still want to offer them a free breakfast as a value add, but say that you'll deliver it to their room rather than worrying about having to sit into a restaurant where they're worried about cross infection. So it's being smart about the things that you're offering to people in the current context as well. Where you have got things which perhaps you'd normally charge extra for, but right now could be very helpful and not too damaging from a margin perspective to fulfill. Go for it. It could be something, again, like the Wi-Fi in your hotel. Many properties, of course, offer free Wi-Fi. If you don't, now's a good time to offer it, because if people are traveling, they're still not coming out of their hotel room as much as they used to. And if you do have a free Wi-Fi proposition, put that on that landing page that we were talking about. Generally make it easier for people to feel safe, because there are some people who still have to travel for their jobs, including key workers who are traveling around the world trying to help with solving this crisis. So try to make it reassuring, safe, and possible, and as risk-free as possible for the guests who may be wavering about booking, and think about tailoring your offers to the current environment would be my additional advice there.
Yeah, are either of you seeing any hotels that have restaurants marketing just food? Because everything's being delivered. Here, well, I'm sure everywhere. The food delivery is a big deal because nobody's congregating in restaurants, and a lot of these hotels have really nice
Yeah.
restaurants and coffee shops.
So there's a couple of things there which we've seen. One is absolutely around using the food facility. So, and this is also the case in some markets where we've seen hotels have effectively had to shut their doors to guests as well, where they are still contributing to their communities. So one thing which we've seen a number of hotels doing, particularly ones who have parking lots or a driveway which people can come into, is offering food and beverage to people to come in, drive in, pick it up, often a no contact scenario where it's left and the car drives up and they pick it up. But think about creative ways in which they can use the facilities they have, turn over some revenue, but also serve the communities as well that they exist within. Another thing that we've seen hotels doing is a lot of countries now are basically telling everyone to work from home, which is great if you've got a house which is big enough, but at the same time, in a lot of countries, schools are being shut down. So you've got kids running around, and not everyone lives in a home which has got great Wi-Fi, is big enough for concentrated working, and not everyone wants to have the children running in on their conference calls. So one thing we've seen hotels doing is actually repositioning some of their room offering to offering local businesses spaces to work from, because a hotel room, it's kind of a safe space. You've got good Wi-Fi, you've got a desk, you've got power, you haven't got other people around you like you would do in a coffee shop. So being thoughtful about how you can contribute to the community is a good idea and a socially responsible idea anyway, and your community will probably thank you for that later and be willing to engage with your hotel too. But it's also a great thing for the staff to be able to be involved with. So we've seen a couple of hotels in the UK, for example, making rooms available to health workers who are maybe working long shifts and struggling to get home because public transport's been cut back, or indeed volunteering in the community to help deliver things to the elderly, who of course are more at risk from this virus and perhaps can't get out and about and pick food up themselves, actually providing a really useful service to more vulnerable in their societies by actually getting their staff involved in community action, which from a staff cohesion point of view, because let's not forget this whole thing has quite a drastic impact potentially on the mental health of staff in hotels as well and their feeling of well-being, having some kind of activity that they can rally around and participate in, particularly if it has a positive community benefit, that's something which we're seeing people doing, and to good effect as well.
Yeah, Jason. So while I haven't had any direct conversations with clients about some of the things that Andrew said, I've definitely seen on social media and on LinkedIn specifically, some of our clients are showing what community outreaches are going on, and it's uplifting and it's positive to see that. And semi trucks backed up to a loading dock where they are donating their food from their kitchens or something like that. I'm seeing a bit of that, which is fantastic. I really like that idea, though, of offering an alternative co-working space, so to speak, where everyone has their own room in a hotel to work from.
Yeah.
That is a very cool idea. I think that if other people haven't really thought about it, or if it hasn't kind of gained legs here in the U.S., that is definitely a nice idea for sure.
Yeah, I'm sharing an office with my wife. It might not last much longer. I may have to go to the hotel. And the other thing, before I forget, yesterday on our chat window on our website, a hotel hit us up, and it wasn't a client, but they were out of New York City, and they wanted to know who they might contact to offer their hotel as a quarantine facility. So that's another angle that's kind of interesting and quite helpful, really, I'm sure.